Hello, welcome to Living Arts. I'm your host, Jackie Suarez. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about the big thing that's going to be happening here in Peekskill Open Studios 2013. We have the director of the Peekskill Arts Alliance with us, Maureen Winzig. Maureen, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks, Jackie.
Yeah, I was really excited to get you over here. I love open studios.
Yeah.
I just love it. And I think a good way to kind of give our audience just a little education about what's going on is to describe to the average person, I guess, or someone who's not been to open studios, what it's all about.
Well, Open Studios, which is June 1st and 2nd, from 12 to 5, is a citywide event where, you know, the basic premise is that artists open their studio doors, and the public gets to walk in and see them painting or how they function, how they operate. Sometimes they're not, you know, neat and tidy. It's got stuff everywhere, paint and rags, and it's exciting. Sometimes someone will have a sculpture in process or a painting or something like that. So that's one part of it. The other part are, we have 3 exhibits that are happening. So they're group shows, and I'll tell you more about them. But, you know, the Peekskill Arts Alliance members got together and set up in 3 different venues.
Okay.
And then there's a performance piece because, you know, performing arts are incredibly important in our lives. And we wanted to get together with Embark Peekskill, which is an amazing group with literary and performing arts. So they opened up their hall to us, and that's going to be from 12, I think, until 8 o'clock at night, or 2 to 8 o'clock at night. Singing, dancing, poetry. There's an artist who's going to interact with her pieces of art on the wall.
Wow, who's doing that?
Her name is Inez, and I can't say her last name at the moment. It's a very cool name. And, you know, drumming, all kinds of stuff, poetry. So that we have a performance piece. Also, there are galleries, like, you know, I have a list of galleries that we hope everyone will visit. Hudson Valley Center for Contemporary Art has the Peekskill project going on, you know, that we see in the streets all the time, with sculptures everywhere, walking street signs. The Golden Mean statue down at the riverfront is phenomenal.
Right, and it's lovely.
Yeah. So you have a whole citywide event. And then afterwards, of course, there's lots of great places to eat and drink, and there's going to be a party. John told me that the whole public is invited to come.
Oh, really? So it's going to be like we're going to close down the street and have like a block party.
Sure.
So I think my understanding of just the open studios, you know, prior to being involved with this show and getting, I guess, more involved in what's going on, I like the idea that you got to go into someone's studio and kind of see the creative process.
Correct.
So you see sketches, you see paintings that are half done, you see how they're really working, and they continue to work while you're there, and you get to speak to them. And I find that to be a really awesome experience because it kind of brings their work to life. Now, I went and did that with you last year. Yeah. And, you know, the studio was nice, but it's like there's this really cool vibe in the city during this time. Yeah. And I think, you know, definitely it's something people want to catch. But we want to, you know, dial it back a little bit. Tell us about this grant that you received from Arts Westchester.
Well, we're lucky to have on our board, the Peekskill Arts Alliance, a couple people that write grants well. It's an art all by itself. And Andrea Elam, she wrote out a grant to Arts Westchester for the Arts Alive grant. And they gave out about 6 of them to Peekskill
alone,
artists alone this year. It was a phenomenal event to go down there. And Open Studios, all these grants, they want you now, they get very specific, to have a real purpose and meaning. And our purpose and meaning at Open Studios is to involve the public and educate them in a way of, you know, like you said, you know, we get to see the process, the finished work and the unfinished work, and get to talk to the people. It's great.
So Andrea wrote, I guess, tried to get in on this grant, but you're also being sponsored, or you know, I guess the Peekskill bid, which is business and development, is a part of this as well. I guess handling your marketing. So tell me about that whole collaboration.
Oh my God, I have to tell you, this is going to be outrageous because You know, I applied for that grant to the, you know, Peekskill has a business improvement district, and Jason Angel and John Sharp, you know, are in charge of that, and they said, okay, well, you know, we're thinking we're not going to give you the money that you're asking for, but instead, we will give you marketing services.
I'll take that.
You know, for the same amount of money. So, you know, there are going to be banners in the streets, tall, like as tall as this panel, that say Peekskill Open Studios, about 50 of them. It's going to be everywhere. I think there's also going to be, and they're going to kind of match, have the same look and feel as the new regular city banners, you know.
Right. That's been happening a lot more often.
Yeah.
I noticed as you go up and down, I guess, East Main or Route 6, you know, so that's a great marketing tool as people come to Home Depot and Walmart and such.
And there's word that there's going to be projected artistic images of artists in their studios with the date and time on buildings at night. Now, this is pretty incredible.
How are they going to do that? That sounds very like...
They're amazing. There's a company called 3 & Co. with Amy Hart who did all the design work, our beautiful postcard, our new logos, the banners, the whole thing. It's just so beautiful and cohesive.
For the Open Studios or for the Peekskill Arts Alliance?
For the Open Studios.
Oh, okay.
We have our own artists.
So you got someone from the outside to come in and kind of design the whole thing for you.
She's working with the BID. The BID kind of hired her, you know, to do this work, which most of it is you know, slavery. Yeah, she's she's doing it. You know, they've gone way above and beyond the call of duty to make this happen because. And they told us, you know, that they really believe in the Open Studios, how the artist community is thriving, and a real cool thing about Peekskill that they want to, that they feel is important. So,
absolutely, you know, and also, not too many people may or may not be familiar with this, but pretty much every festival in Peekskill has been canceled. It's just the state of affairs in the world. You know, the Jazz Fest is not happening. The fireworks are not happening. Is it really?
The Blues and Jazz Fest.
It's back on?
Yes.
I thought they'd canceled that. Somebody came through with some money.
It's so happening, yes.
Oh, good, good. Because I thought, you know, that was one of the ways that they wanted to kind of work with the local business people to say, hey, you know, these other things may not be happening.
Yeah.
So how is it that the Peekskill celebration, I mean, I don't know if you know about this or not, got canceled and...
Well, you know, there's all kinds of stories.
Is it different people that manage it?
It's much different people that manage it, and they were sustaining themselves on their own. But sometimes, you know, you lean towards the city to help them, and the city had a terrible crush of money taken away by the state. So that's why a lot of things changed in the city of Peekskill, and they were not able to give, you know, a certain amount to Peekskill Celebration. And I think that's just part of it, you know. I'm not in charge of them.
Yeah, right. I mean, I just figured, yeah, so I think that there was also, on the part of the bid, just this feeling like, you know, we got to really play this up because it's one of the big, you know, the big ways that we kick off the summer and have some people down here.
Yeah.
So talk to us about some of the, you know, specifics of this. It's going to be the 16th annual Open Studios.
Yes.
This is your second, right? Because you've been on now for the second year.
Yeah.
So what's changed about this whole production, or what when you first came forward, it was because the old Arts Council or whatever was kind of changing of the guard.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, last Open Studio was really, really cool.
Thank you.
So you did a great job.
Yeah, it rocked.
So as you moved into this year, what were some of the goals that you had?
Well, you know, we wanted to do a lot of things. We're still working towards our 501c3, which is our not-for-profit status. And, but, you know, there's so much behind the scenes, like boring things like getting your bank account in order, getting your database in order. You have to have different players that do things well. And we've got an excellent board, you know, on the Peekskill Arts Alliance. So that's been very helpful. We've joined the Chamber of Commerce, which is great. I'll go and I'll show up. But also, you know, I myself have been reaching out to the community to get involved in different things like the artist rezoning issue, that different parts of the city themselves, the bid, and the artists are all collaborating and working together on this.
So what is the situation with that? From what I understand, it's basically they're going to open up, I guess, the criteria for having these artist lofts.
Well, there's certain things that really need to change. in order to make it work well and for businesses and different developers to come in. But you know, by no means are the artists being pushed out or anything like that. Another false you know, myth is that the artists get a deal or a break. We do not. You know, we get we pay the market price on all of our places. But
and you're renting for the most part. No one's.
Yeah, we're renting. Yeah,
okay.
The downtown is all renting. We're upstairs, and you know, and you can only rent out to artists in a particular spot of the downtown. So if you have a tenant, they're an artist. Okay. And that's going to change a little bit, but you know.
Are a lot of these places empty?
No, they're all full.
Then what's the need to change it then?
I don't know. It's a happy day. I don't want to talk about those things.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about I guess last year you started to incorporate different types of art, performing art,
Yes.
the healing arts.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, the performing arts are just magnificent, and this has really caught on. So over at Embark, which is in the Energy Movement Center, okay, Darby Melnick owns the Energy Movement Center, which is all yoga, Pilates, you know, Tai Chi, really, really awesome things for your spirit and your body, which all of us artists should be more involved in. You know, we're hunched over all the time. And so she has opened up her place, you know, to us last year, but now the new thing is that Embark has moved in, and they're really building their, you know, their group, their members, and they, you know, they're such good people, Katie and Saul, that, you know, we've been working. That's another really cool thing is that, you know, we've been working with Embark. They had a thing about motherhood during Women's Month, and they asked us to hang art in their performance space.
Yes, I went to that awesome experience.
It was such a great experience. I mean, the energy from the performers to the 2D art, it was phenomenal. It was a great experience, you know, bringing the two groups closer together. And, you know, we plan on doing a lot more of that as time goes on, you know. So, you know, the Peekskill Arts Alliance is trying to work with other art groups, you know, with the city, with the BID, with the HVCCA, you know, everywhere we can to try to pull people together, and it's great because, you know, there's strength in numbers, and you can get better grants in numbers. You can get bigger, cooler projects to happen, more diverse with the more people that you have, you know, instead of just one person in their studio painting. Right. It's so much bigger than that.
Right. But you know, I guess with just even the scope of what you're doing here, because I know everyone has their own little thing that they have going on, the Hat Factory, and you have the HVCCA. Why don't you tell me like the role they're playing in open studios and what's going on?
Well, the Hat Factory is what, just a mile down the street in this awesome old factory. You know, brick factory, you know. My son actually went there looking for hats, and I would have loved a hat from there. So it's great because it houses the Peekskill Clay Studios and many other types of businesses, but a whole handful of artists out there. They're going to open their studio doors. They teach out there too. They have all kinds of classes and stuff. And people just love it out there. I can't walk away without a mug or something in there. It's dangerous.
Well, it seems like there's more, well, I guess not more of, maybe not too many painters, but I know there's Joanne Brody's there, Sarah Haviland.
I think she might be still there. Lisa Bresnik.
Yeah, and
there's a whole list.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch. Now, let's say, tell our audience, I guess, how to find out what exactly is all happening in various places, because it's kind of hard to organize because you have the performances and then you have this, the exhibits that are happening at WCC. So
yeah, you can find that all out at the Peekskill Arts Alliance .org website, and everybody who's doing something supposedly is also advertising on their websites, so you can find out more detail. But there's going to be a very extensive press release type, information list of everything that you can click on and go to and see what's going on. But the Hudson Valley Center for Contemporary Art has the Peekskill project all throughout the city, and but they're having free admission to their contemporary art museum, which is it's totally amazing. They have this new Hudson River School of artists.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're young, brilliant. Many of them right out of college, and they have a show there. I mean, every place has a special show either for this event or with this event in mind. Because then you have...
Is all of this free?
This is all free. But I do have to say...
I said that like, is it free?
It's so free.
So you think I'd remember that from last time, but I guess figured with some of the performances. So let's say someone goes to Embark at EMC, and that's where the performing artists are, and they have the all-day performances. You can just walk in there and enjoy the performances.
Absolutely.
That's must-see. There's absolutely no reason not to go take advantage of that, right?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the best places to go, because upstairs will also be a curated show, an exhibit of art on the walls. Photography, painting, drawing, and all that stuff as well.
So up where I guess the bicycling and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a long hallway, and there's a sky room where they're going to have more intimate readings and things going on in there.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, and downstairs will be the louder stuff. And the dancing and all of that, where there's more room for people to move around. And that's the best place. But I'll tell you what else is happening, because we have the Driftwood Gallery. Okay, she's been there. Inga Doobie's been there for such a long time. She's got a great collection of art. Division Street Grill, Arnie Pagli, he has an exquisite selection of art up there, and I think it's all by one artist. And you'll be able to see on our website who is showing in what place. 12 Grapes is new this year.
Okay, so wait, I'm just going back to Division Street Grill now. The artist that he has up there, is he taking down some of those installations and putting up some new stuff?
No, I think...
Or it's just the painter or the artist that he's got up there now?
Yeah, I think it's who he has now.
Okay.
Yeah. And, but 12 Grapes, I've been working with Jeannie, and she's got these great photographers that have photographed musicians in their venue. And they have smoking hot blues and jazz in that place. It's just magnificent. And these two artists have, framed and matted so much of their work, and that is a new show just for open studios. The brand new Speakeasy Tattoo parlor has an art gallery as well. And I have to tell you, Patrick Conlon, he is an incredible artist, and he's going to be showing, it's a gallery, he's going to be showing a lot of they're fantastic, like fantasy illustrations and, and drawings and paintings.
I haven't been up there, so I'm looking forward to getting in there.
It's beautiful inside. And he's like the nicest guy you ever want to meet.
They own the Peekskill Coffee House, right?
His wife.
Okay, Sunny.
Sunny Ray Cover, yes. And now the H Art Gallery at Steel Imaginations is right on the corner over the Chamber of Commerce, and that's Wilfredo Morale. He is having an exhibit of, it's like an honoring to Martin Luther King, and we're going to get the name, he's got a specific name for that he's working on now. But a lot of people contributed art to an auction with the Preservation Society, had a big gala, and a lot of this work is online and still for sale, and it's on the theme of Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, I have a piece in there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be amazing, and he also curates the sculpture garden next to the Hudson Valley Health Center.
Right, I've seen that.
Yeah, and that's all new. They did a lot of renovation, flowers in the grass, and brand new installations in there, with 3 different artists, including Wilfredo.
Okay.
And that'll all be listed. The Orange Splot Art Spot is a new one for us this year. And now, Justine, she's incredible. And what they do is they do art projects with children, and they're going to be open one day only on Saturday from 12 to 2, and the kids can go in there and just get all in there, roll up their sleeves, you know, paint and draw.
Yeah, so this is a huge thing for families, or that's a great spot for young kids.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. So, you know, she's very excited. The Flatiron Gallery, of course, you know, with Wendy Garber, she has she has incredible stuff in there.
Yes.
And she has a show that the specifics will be up to. I really have all this, don't I? Yeah, the carrier pigeon.
The carrier pigeon, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to that, and that's going to be all through June, actually.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. And plus she has bling like you wouldn't believe. Oh my God, reversible jackets and silk scarves, hand painted, and oh, I just love it.
It's a great place to visit.
It is. And of course, within that building upstairs is the Flatiron artists have studios in there. I think like 10.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's got like 3 floors.
Yeah.
I want to say 3, maybe 2. Of just every room is occupied by a different artist.
Yeah. So hopefully all their doors will be open. The Bean Runner Cafe has works by Ivy Dutchman, and that's really fun. Pow, you know, very, very powerful stuff. And they have blues and jazz every weekend. You know.
Now, where is this?
The Bean Runner Cafe.
Oh, the Bean Runner. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's on Esther Street. You know.
I've been there like a million times.
Yeah, and this is all within like 3 blocks.
So let's say someone from out of town is coming up. You definitely want to take, I guess, the Metro North.
Yes.
Will the trolley be taking people around?
Well, you know, the trolley had other plans this year.
Oh, okay.
But we're gonna lock her up, you know, next year.
Okay.
Yes. And but you know, it's a short ride. There's taxis all the time, and you know, with the rest of it being free.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Basically, you just go into the Peekskill Metro North station, and from there, cabs are available to take you to the downtown. It's a I wouldn't walk it, but
I walk it all the time.
Just laziness.
Yeah. No,
but you could definitely walk if you're, you know, but depending on how many kids you have, or if you have a stroller or something.
Yeah. And yeah, but I did want to mention, I don't know why it popped into my head right now, that everything is free, but you know, all the works are for sale. You know.
Absolutely.
And the coolest secret, okay, it's a secret, don't tell anybody, is that a lot of this work that artists do goes to galleries, and they have to add on an extra 30, 40, 50%. The gallery takes that, you know.
Oh, right, to show their work.
Right. So if you have, you know, a $500 painting, you know, if you go to a gallery to get it, it's $1,000. So this is kind of like the coup, you know, if you're an art lover and appreciator.
It's like getting things wholesale.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's awesome to do it that way. Plus, you know, in a gallery, you don't get to talk to all the artists and see their process and stuff like that.
So talk to me a little bit about the Westchester Community College digital arts that we have here on Division Street.
Yes.
And what's going on there?
Well, WCC is hosting our annual juried show. Now, this year, Ellen, I know Ellen's last name. She is a curator at the Katona Museum of Art. Okay. And she, you know, we have a juror who can pick through all the submissions. There were like 30-something submissions.
Okay.
And 20 different artists.
And only X amount will be showed.
And only X amount, and they're going to work well together and have a theme. It's not always black and white is the theme of the show.
Oh, okay.
And you know, so that's like you know, awesome work and they're all local artists, which is great.
Another place that gets my attention, and got my attention last year, was Fashion Moda. Yeah. Because it's kind of like an artist collective, and it's various, you know, sculptors and painters and the whole nine. Tell me a little bit about the guy that runs that and what's going to be going on there.
Well, Stefan, he is an interesting character, and you know, he's been all around the world, and you know, has brought this whole different sensibility about the arts. This year, the theme is the 5th dimension. So it's about things that look, you know, like everything we look at isn't really what we see, and it's always in a process of transformation and changing. Wow. So that's kind of the theme that's going on. I have a piece in there too. Yeah.
5th dimension, okay.
Yeah, and Brooke McGowan is very much a part of that. That's at Nellie's Cafe. You know.
Yeah, so Nellie's is not around anymore, so they're taking up that space.
Pop up, yeah.
So is he going to be here throughout the month of June?
He's here now. That exhibit is open now, and it will have its closing reception June 1st and 2nd.
Oh, okay, so he's open now.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good to know. So tell me a little bit about some of these artists that you have at the Energy Movement Center, the Embark at Energy Movement Center.
Okay, well...
I mean, I know that we have Jay-Z Jopling, Jerry Cruz, but just give us a sense of like what kind of performances are going to be happening there.
Well, what's going to happen, you have Daisy
Free,
Jopling.
just want to say free again.
Yeah, I think Daisy is going to be playing with Andrea Elam dancing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which is interpretive, and sometimes they go over it a little bit, but, you know, it's a freestyle. They feed off each other's energy.
Mm-hmm. It's actually quite beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And Andrea's done this with Ray Blue in the past, you know, it's terrific. And then you'll have poetry readings, which, you know, we've got an amazing lineup. I mean, there's so many people, I just can't read them all off. But all different styles. You know, one woman, she's writing a book, or she's written a book about the passing of her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And
Deb Polhill, right?
that's exactly right. And she's an amazing...
Am I saying that right, Polhill?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how I would say it. And, you know, and she's written songs and poetry, and she'll read a little bit out of her book. You know, and it's not some maudlin affair. It's like, you know, really empowering. She has taken the situation and found a way to process it and honor her daughter, and, you know.
That was actually one of the parts of Motherhood, anyone, at Embark Peekskill, and it was really powerful.
Now,
very moving.
Very moving. And do you remember Donna Barkman, who did that one-woman play? Mm-hmm. She's going to be there, too, reading her poetry. She's phenomenal. I mean, there's nothing second-rate about all of these performances that are happening there. So, you know, I'm just very excited. Very excited about that.
I'm too, and we want to thank you just for taking the reins and kind of moving us all forward. You know, this is an important event for Peekskill.
Yeah.
Anything that, you know, I'd like to see the businesses in town succeed. I like to see just the artist community thrive, and this is one of the ways that, you know, we kind of help them do that.
Yeah.
So definitely come up, see everything. You know, we've run out of time, so why don't you give us your website information again for the Arts Alliance?
Okay, it's peekskillartsalliance.org, and there's a tab there just for open studios, and you'll find in there other things. I have to just mention that Peekskill Coffee House is hosting a group show with incredible art going to happen in there. And we also have a really fun Facebook page. You know, there's videos, there's albums that everything's broken up with, you know, which businesses participating, what artists are participating, what's going on.
So you've got to like her on Facebook. So our Living Arts, you know, fans and family, thank you for tuning in. Definitely like us on Facebook. Yeah. Go check out our old episodes on YouTube. Definitely come out and support Open Studios. We'll look forward to seeing you. Thanks and peace. Take care. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on.